Hi everybody, this is Lindsay from Winding Road Crochet, and today I'm going to show you how to make this square bottom bag that is surprisingly made from a square. If you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified of future videos. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. So for this project, you are going to need a size I or 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, around 700 yards of worsted weight yarn. You will need a yarn needle and scissors, and then optional is some supplies to help line this bag. Let's go ahead and get started by placing a slip knot on our hook and chaining 2. Now we're going to wrap the yarn around our finger to make a magic circle, and we're going to work 2 double crochet into the magic circle. 1 and 2. So here we're going to make our first corner of our square, so we will chain 2 and then work another 4 double crochet into the magic circle. It's 2. Here is 3. We are using a color of Red Heart Super Saver in gold right now. We're going to chain 2 again for another corner and work another 4 double crochet. Two, 3, and 4. Work corner number 3, so chain 2, work another 4 double crochet. 2, 3, 4. Work our last corner, so another 2 double crochet. And then this time we just have to work 2 double crochet because we already worked 2 double crochet at the beginning. And something you will need to know for this project is that I do not count my chain 2, my turning chain, as a stitch. So we have 2 double crochet at the beginning, 2 double crochet at the end, and just slip stitch to the very first double crochet. So now you'll just take the end of your magic circle and you'll pull it nice and tight to close up the center of our square. Now moving on to row 2, we are going to chain 2 and we are not turning. We're going to double crochet in the first 2 stitches, and then we will work our corner. So 1 and 2. To work the corner, we are going to double crochet 2 into the chain 2 space. 1 and 2. We will chain 2 and then make another 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space. That is our corner. So 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet is every single corner we make. So now we're going to work a double crochet in each stitch across until we reach our chain 2 space again. So in this case it's going to be 4 double crochet, but it's better just to think of it as double crochet in each stitch across because we'll basically be repeating this row for the rest of the base square. Now that we've reached the corner, again we are going to work 2 double crochet. We will chain 2 and work another 2 double crochet in the corner, and just repeat this process all the way around your square. So double crochet in each stitch across and then work your corners. Once you've worked your last corner, you are just going to double crochet in each stitch until we reach our first double crochet. It should be the exact same number that's on the other side of our starting chain, so just 2 double crochet, and then we will slip stitch to our very first double crochet. So that is row 2 completed. So from continuing on from here, we are just going to repeat this row, but of course you're going to have a different number of stitches in between each corner, but you're going to work your corners exactly the same. We're just going to work one more row together to see how this is done. We're going to chain 2 and then double crochet into each stitch until we reach our corner. Again, when you reach your corner, you are going to work 2 double crochet, we're going to chain 2, then work 2 more double crochet into the chain 2 space. Now just double crochet down the next side and then repeat the corner every time you reach a chain 2 space, and do that all the way around row 3. When you reach the end of row 3, just slip stitch to the first double crochet and continue repeating this until you have 6 rows of gold. So here you can see I have 6 rows of gold. I'm working my very last double crochet, and before I finish my double crochet, I'm going to work that very last yarn over with a new color, and this color is Red Heart with Love Mallard. And I'm going to slip stitch to the very first double crochet. And now all I want to do is continue repeating the rows we've been working. I just want to do 5 more rows using this pretty teal color called Mallard. At the end of row 15, we are going to change over again, this time to white. So that last yarn over before I finish the last double crochet, I'll yarn over with white and pull that through, and then slip stitch to the first double crochet. You may notice at this point that your square doesn't want to lay perfectly flat, and that is okay because we do not need it to. So now I'm just going to work rows 12 through 15 in white, and then rows 16 through 22 in pink, and that will be the last of our double crochet rows. So here we are in row 23. We've worked all of our beautiful double crochet rows, just making a nice big solid granny square. In this row we are going to chain 1, do pretty much the same type of row, but we are going to single crochet in each stitch around. So just work 1 single crochet into each stitch until you reach your chain 2 corner. When we reach our chain 2 corner, we are going to single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet into the chain 2 corner. And then just continue single crocheting into each stitch around. When you reach your next corner, you'll simply repeat the single crochet, chain 2, single crochet corner, and do that all the way around your project. So then when you reach the end of row 23, you've made it all the way back to the beginning. You are just going to slip stitch to your very first single crochet, and then we are going to chain 1 and repeat this row. So just single crochet in each stitch across until you reach your chain 2 corner. Again, when we reach our corner, you are going to work a single crochet, chain 2, 1 and 2, and then single crochet into that corner again. And then single crochet in each stitch all the way down until you reach your next chain 2 corner, and repeat the single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in those corners as well, and repeat this all the way around your project. So we've made it to the beginning of row 24, and we are just going to slip stitch to the very first single crochet. Sometimes these single crochets are a little hard to see, so feel free to put a stitch marker in the first single crochet of these last 2 rows. So at this point we're actually going to fasten off, and if you are interested in lining your bag, you can check out my video on how to line a blanket with fabric. It works exactly the same way because we are working with a square. The way I've designed this is that when you sew your fabric onto it, you are sewing it onto that row 23. And of course you can hand sew it on there. I have a video for that, or you can machine sew it. So definitely check that out. I'm going to weave in my ends, sew on my liner, and I'll be back to show you how to finish up this bag. So here is my lined square. I just put a pretty polka dot fabric on the inside and I sewed it all the way around, just tucking in, folding in my edges. And now I'm ready to turn this square into a bag. So let's go ahead and do this. First, you want to go ahead and pick a corner to work into. Any corner works. You're going to take a new yarn. I'm using a yarn called Dusty Gray, and I'm working into this pink, which is called Flamingo. So you're just going to pull your yarn through one of the corners, then yarn over and pull through. This acts as our slip stitch, attaching it to our corner. Pull that nice and tight. You're going to chain one, and we're going to begin working. Now we are going to work single crochet decreases all the way down this side, starting into our corner space. So into that chain 2 corner, we're going to pull up a loop, go into the very first stitch, pull up another loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. That is a single crochet decrease. Let's do it again. Going into the next stitch, we're going to pull up a loop. Going into the next stitch, we are going to pull up a loop. Now yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Go ahead and repeat this all the way down your row. When you reach the end of the row, remember that we are going to do a decrease into the very last stitch and into our chain 2 corner space. So that is our last decrease, and you can see how that row has really gathered up this side. So moving on to our second gather row, we are going to chain 1 and turn. We are going to do another decrease into the first 2 stitches. And then we are going to single crochet into the next 3 stitches. So not as many decreases on this row. So 3 single crochet, and then a decrease. So pull up a loop in both stitches, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Now repeat, work 3 single crochet into the next 3 stitches, so 1 into each stitch. So here's number 3. And then single crochet 2 stitches together. And continue repeating this all the way across your row. When you reach the very end of the row, you should end with a single crochet decrease. All right, now moving on, our last 2 rows are very, very easy on this side. We are just going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to single crochet into each stitch across this row. It's just a nice way to clean up our edges from all of those decreases. So just work 1 single crochet into each stitch across the row. So then when you reach the very end of this row, we will just chain 1 and repeat this row for gather row 4. So just turn and single crochet in each stitch across the row. When you finish this row, we will fasten off, and then what you'll need to do is flip this over and repeat gather rows 1 through 4 on the parallel side to this side of our square. So fasten off, there is our gather rows, and we're just going to go right over to the opposite side, and I've already worked them on this side, but we're just going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side of our bag. Once both of those sides of the bags are worked, we are going to go ahead and work along these last two sides as well as make our handles. To do this, we are going to start on one end of our gather 4 row. So right here into this gray row here. So we're going to pull our yarn through and then chain 1. And then just like we did on the other sides, we're going to work single crochet decreases along this row. But first we're going to work a single crochet decrease into the side of 2 rows of our gather rows, into the side of the other 2 gather rows. So we've worked 2 decreases so far. Now we want to work into that chain 2 corner and into the first stitch. Work a decrease, and then just continue repeating this all the way down the row. Remember, when you get to the other side, we want to make sure we work into that chain 2 corner and then work 2 single crochet decrease along the sides of our already gray rows. All right, now I know it feels like we should be done with this row, but we are not. We are going to make our handle. To do this, we will chain 60. You can of course chain more or less, that is completely fine, but I found that 60 was a good length of a handle for me. Once your chain is complete, follow your square all the way along so that you're skipping an entire side. Get down to the other corner, and we are going to do decreases all along this side. So we're working 2 decreases into the sides of our gray rows that we've already worked. Work 1 more decrease along these gray rows. Work a decrease into the chain 2 corner in the very first stitch. You want to make sure you don't miss that. And then work your decreases all the way down that side of the square. When you reach the other side, don't forget to work into the last stitch and into the chain 2 corner as a decrease. And then work 2 more decreases along the sides of the gray rows. And then when we finish up with our decreases along this side of the row, we will be ready to make our second handle. So after your last decrease, you've gathered up that side, we are going to again chain 60. And then with that long chain, just follow around the edge of your square, all in the same direction. Find the beginning of this handle row, and we will slip stitch to the very first single crochet decrease of this row. You just want to be careful to make sure, if possible, that your chain does not get twisted, and just slip stitch it to that row. Now to begin our second row, we are going to continue working in the same direction. You're just going to chain 1. So what we are going to do is continue making single crochet decreases. So we're going to single crochet decrease into the first 2 stitches. We are going to single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. And then we will work another decrease. And this is what you're going to want to repeat until the very end of the row. So single crochet into 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and then work another decrease. And as you continue repeating down the row with your 2 single crochet and then a decrease, you should end up with a decrease right at the end of the row before you start working into the chain. This is where we will stop our repeat, And then working into the 60 chain, we are just going to work 1 single crochet into each chain. This is just making our handle. So go ahead and single crochet your handle, working 1 single crochet into each chain all the way across. Alright, and then when you reach the other side of the row, it's just a repeat of what we did on the last side. So we're going to start with a decrease, and then we are going to single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then work another decrease, and then continue repeating that. Single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then work a decrease, all the way until the end of this row. When you reach the end of the row, again, we should be ending with a decrease, but I will be honest, if you don't, it's not a huge deal, but everything's going to look fine if your stitch count is a little off. Now we are going to again work single crochets into our chains, our chain 60. Work 1 single crochet into each chain until we reach the very beginning of this row. At the end of this row, we are just going to slip stitch to our very first stitch. So it's that very first decrease that we made. And then now it gets a lot easier. All we're going to do for row 3 is chain 1, and then you're going to single crochet into every stitch around the row. The purpose for these next few rows is just to give us a nice big handle, something that's a little bit better than a chain and a single crochet row. So just single crochet into every stitch in this row, all the way around the side, all the way over the handles, across the other side, and across the other handle. Once you've worked your way all the way across the row, you're just going to slip stitch to the very first stitch, and then I want you to repeat this a few more times until you have at least a total of 6 rows, but you're welcome to go as far as you want to make your handle as thick as you like. But just keep repeating those solid single crochet rows all the way around for about a total of 6 rows. So here I have a total of 6 rows. We have the 2 gathering rows and then 4 rows worked for the handles, just to add the thickness to the handle. And at this point your bag is done. You just need to fasten off and weave in your ends. So I am just going to clip my end here. I will yarn over and pull through the last loop to secure it. And then this is my finished bag. It opens up super, super wide, making it really easy to find your keys, your phone, and anything else you're looking for in it. And it just kind of gathers up, makes a super cute floppy bag. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.